Hi guys, this is Dhananjay here, and I am the CEO of Moksh. So, guys, this is a very short uh, online counseling session, okay? And it's all about your career, okay? So those who are getting into commerce with thinking of, accounts or finance or some degree program, which is going to put you in the, back office of or front office of a finance company or a bank, or, if you're imagining yourself to be somewhere in this line, today maybe our session will open up your eyes in a very different way, okay? So, there is a question mark on your screen. This is the place where you can communicate with the speaker. Yeah. So whenever you have some question in your mind, please feel free to ask the question by tapping on the question mark. Okay. So this is the easiest way you can come back, because we can read whatever you type over there and we can answer them over here. Okay. So, of course, we are not able to see each other at the moment, and I'm not going to switch on the video till I'm comfortable with the internet speed. So, Moksh is an academy which is into multiple things on the education front. Moksh is available in almost every city of this country, okay, major cities. So, around 35 major cities are there. Moksh is available in all these 35 cities across the country. Yeah. And definitely, I can tell you that we are here to give you something to do with your career. We are here to give you something to do with your, the plans which are not there right now in your mind, which are not there, or, you've not heard about them, the programs, the career options, the visualization, the career discovery part of it. So everything is going to be new. So let's take this forward in this session, and let me explain you क्या एक्चुअल में इंडिया में प्रॉब्लम है और उसको कैसे काउंटर कर सकते हो. हाउ कैन यू काउंटर द प्रॉब्लम्स व्हिच एग्जिस्ट इन इंडिया. This is the webinar which is going to be divided into two parts, actually three parts, okay? And slightly longer webinar for a commerce students to, sit across three sessions is not that easy, but those who have sat through such sessions, they completely are zapped and they change their perspective. This is a perspective changing webinar, okay? So the first half an hour, I'm going to talk to you something about the career, the concept of, you know uh, the entire perspective changing ideas, okay, the concepts. The first one will be the concept. The second one is going to be some industrial, professional, कोई इंडस्ट्री में ऑलरेडी काम कर रहे हैं, and she is at such a young age, she has progressed in her life in a specific fear of wealth management. ओके. सो हम उसका एक काइंड ऑफ अ टॉक शो रहेगा जिसमें हम सवाल पूछेंगे, वो हमको जवाब देंगे, वो हमको समझाएंगे कि उनका इतना प्रोग्रेस फास्ट क्यों हुआ, उन्होंने क्या क्या चैलेंजेस को पार किया, क्या क्या स्पेशल स्किल्स डेवलप की, उन्होंने भी बीकॉम किया होगा तो अभी क्यों इतने फास्ट वो ग्रो कर गए हैं. इंडस्ट्री प्रोफेशनल एक्सप्लेनिंग यू how the career can grow for you and pay back your, for your hard work, for your planning, for execution of your career. Everything can be done, okay, and she will explain us. So Miss Ria Singla is going to join us. She's right now a very high level professional in one of the biggest commodity market company called Anand Rathi. So for you're too young to understand these commodity markets and every wealth management and roles like equity research and roles like financial analyst and those things. So today we are going to understand एक्चुअल में आपके लाइफ में ऑप्शंस क्या क्या हैं, एंड हम लोग ये भी करेंगे कि ये मिस रिया सिंगला कैसे इतने जल्दी वो ग्रो कर गए अपनी लाइफ में, ताकि हम भी उनके साथ में कुछ सोच समझ के हम भी कुछ करें अपने आप के लिए. ठीक है. और जो तीसरा सेशन है वो आपको मोक्ष एकेडमी, जो ऑनलाइन कोचिंग के अंदर है, ओके, वो आपको कैसे ये पैरेलल एजुकेशन दे सकते हैं. वी आर गोइंग टू टॉक अबाउट दैट पार्ट. Mobility is one of our division. where we place students globally in huge number of countries, starting from US right up to different continents in Europe, in Eastern Europe, in Asia, in various countries. We place students abroad. Second division for Moksh is Moksh Academy. As I told you, we have one of the most unique learning management solution, and in through that we are able to teach huge number, thousands of students are currently on that. Okay, at the moment, so they learn online. ठीक है. So मोक्ष मोबिलिटी मैंने बताया, मोक्ष एकेडमी बताया, ऑनलाइन कोचिंग सॉल्यूशन है, और मोक्ष ट्रैवल्स जो है वो इंडियन स्टूडेंट्स को शॉर्ट टर्म के लिए दूसरे कंट्रीज में कल्चरल एक्सपोजर देते हैं. ठीक है. सो आज what to do after 12th commerce, this is like 8 to 8:30, and 8:30 to 9 o'clock is going to be the career detail, where Mr. Chirag is going to take up Miss Ria's talk show. Mr. Chirag is going to moderate the show, he's going to ask questions, and Miss Ria is going to answer us. So we are going to continuously, I will be tracking this whole thing. Within half an hour I have to finish it. So let's move on, guys. This is myself, and एक सिंपल चीज है, इंडिया में बीकॉम जो करते हैं, आप सबको पता होगा, हजारों लोग बीकॉम करते हैं, लाखों लोग बीकॉम करते हैं, आगे करियर का ऑप्शन क्या. अभी आप इतने सारे स्टूडेंट्स, you are there on my webinar right now. If I ask 20%, 30% will say, sir, I want to become a CA. Correct? Many people will say, sir, I want to become CS. Few people will say, sir, I want to do something better than normal. I don't want to become this, spend my 3 years, 4 years in preparation, group 1, group 2. Then I come to know that, end of the day, the competition is so much that 85% of the students cannot reach the target, and I wasted 3-4 years of my life. I don't want to do that. Tell me something which is unique. अगर मेरा CV बने, वो दूसरे लोगों के CV से अलग होना चाहिए. 20 साल की उम्र में मैं ग्रेजुएट होऊंगा. जब मैं ग्रेजुएट हूं, तभी मेरा CV जो हो, मेरा रेज्यूमे, मेरा जो बायोडेटा बने, that should look completely different and unique, so that जब मैं इंडस्ट्री में इंटरव्यू देने जाऊं, people can easily make out that this guy is much more smarter. So, but the world doesn't work like that. World, how does it work? अभी आप सवाल देखोगे लोगों के, सर आपको क्या लग रहा है कौन से कॉलेज में मैं जाऊं. जनरल सवाल कैसे रहते हैं लोगों के, सर मैं दिल्ली में रहता हूं, आपको क्या लग रहा है कॉमर्स कैसा रहेगा मेरे लिए, और कॉमर्स करने के बाद में मेरे लिए प्रोस्पेक्ट कैसे रहेंगे. I want to ask all of you only one simple question. Do you want to become like herd, or do you want to become special? आपके सामने एक छोटा सा पिक्चर है, इसमें ध्यान किधर गया आपका, इधर गया या इनके ऊपर गया. You know that says something different in this. That difference will be created by Moksh Academy. Why we call it as a passion TV is because as we need to identify your traits and understand your passions, so that you can focus on a career which is more relevant with your passion. Okay, I'm going to take you into this new concept in a very step by step manner. जनरली क्या होता है कॉलेज में, मेरे को बताओ, बीकॉम के कितने बच्चे कॉलेज अटेंड करते हैं, क्या लग रहा है आपको. थियरी से कंटाल जाते हैं. एग्जाम के 7 दिन पहले तो पढ़ना होता है बुक, उसके पहले तो बुक कहाँ है वो किसी को पता भी नहीं होती है. सबको पता होगा, वो जेरोक्स वाला जो निकालता है वही नोट्स की कॉपी निकालता है बीकॉम के अंदर, बराबर है. आपको सिर्फ बोलना है फर्स्ट ईयर की नोट की कॉपी निकाल दे, वो निकाल के दे देगा. आपको कहाँ कुछ नहीं करना होता पढ़ाई. ये मीनिंगलेस हो गया है, ये सिर्फ डिग्री हो गई है. क्या आपको लगता है इस डिग्री का कोई वैल्यू है? क्या ये डिग्री जो कॉलेज में लेते हो, ये डिग्री इंडस्ट्री से सच में कनेक्टेड है? क्या इंडस्ट्री को इनफ है कि आप बीकॉम करके जाओ और आप जॉब मांगोगे तो आपको एक क्लरिकल पोजीशन मिलेगा आज की तारीख में. सो आपको कुछ ना कुछ फर्स्ट ईयर ऑफ बीकॉम, सेकेंड ईयर ऑफ बीकॉम और थर्ड ईयर ऑफ बीकॉम, आप जब ये टाइम निकाल रहे हो, नेचुरली ये टाइम ऐसा है कि हर स्टूडेंट को, every guy, every girl is going to be in a phase where the hormones are going to change. your age is going to be very, very distractive. You will be hugely into, the friendships and new culture and new बहुत सारी चीजें बदलने वाली है, क्योंकि 18 से 20 साल की उम्र में वो सब बच्चों को होने वाला है। तो हमको क्या डिस्ट्रैक्शन में जीना है और अपने ये 3 साल बर्बाद करने हैं, या ये मजे भी करने हैं और साथ में इसमें कुछ ऐड करना है स्किल्स को? ये स्किल्स क्या टीचर देगी हमको या क्या इंडस्ट्री देगी? आपको क्या लग रहा है ये स्किल किसकी होनी चाहिए? अगर हमको पहले से इंडस्ट्री बता दे कि मेरे में क्या ऐड करूं ताकि मुझे एम्प्लॉयबिलिटी मिले, क्या वैसा अच्छा है, या मुझे कोई थियरी के लेक्चर्स पढ़ने चाहिए, बुक्स पढ़ना चाहिए? आपको सभी को मैं एक पोल पे क्वेश्चन पूछता हूँ, व्हाट एग्जैक्टली वुड यू लाइक टू लर्न फ्रॉम? आप नॉर्मल तो पढ़ते रहते हो, नॉर्मल आप उसके साथ में जो बीकॉम का कोर्स करोगे, बीबीए का कोर्स करोगे, आप बीएमएस का कोर्स करोगे, तो आपको सिर्फ और सिर्फ एक एकेडमिशियंस के लेक्चर सुनने हैं, या सिर्फ प्रैक्टिकल एस्पेक्ट इंडस्ट्री के सुनने हैं, या आपको लगता है मुझे बैलेंस होना चाहिए? यार ये लेक्चर जो बोरिंग होते हैं वो डिग्री भी इंपॉर्टेंट है, और साथ में वो जो इंडस्ट्री के जो प्रोफेसर आते हैं जो मुझे एक्चुअल में एम्प्लॉयबिलिटी मेरी बढ़ाएंगे, वो वाला मुझे अच्छा लगेगा, ताकि मैं बैलेंस करके इंडस्ट्री के अंदर जाऊं। तो माय फर्स्ट फुटिंग इन द इंडस्ट्री शुड बी वेरी स्ट्रॉन्ग एंड यूनिकली स्किल्ड, विच इज एज पर माय पैशन। अगर मेरा पैशन ऐसी कोई चीज में हो कि जो इंडस्ट्री को हेल्प हो सके, तो आई विल बी डूइंग इट इन अ मच बेटर वे in comparison with something which is forced on me, right? So guys, your own report, I'm sharing it with you. What does it say? Just read it for yourself. 13% से सर मैं बुकिश आदमी हूँ, मुझे बुक पढ़नी है, टीचरों के लेक्चर सुन के मैं कोई भी इंडस्ट्री के लिए अच्छा हो जाऊंगा, सफिशिएंट हो जाऊंगा। 16% से सर सिर्फ इंडस्ट्री सिखानी चाहिए मुझे। 42% says, almost like 42% is almost half of the people, and there are hundreds of students right now listening to us. I need both in a very balanced manner. I need academic degree taught in a good college by a good professor to create a foundation of the theories, but I also need to learn practical industries and develop those employability skills so that industry accepts me. I need to know what are the requirements of the industry, what I am suitable for, and I need to get ready. इंडिया में बैचलर के बाद में पेरेंट्स देखना चाहते हैं स्टूडेंट को, बच्चों को, कि अब क्या करेगा ये, क्या ये घर में बैठेगा, क्या ये जॉब करेगा, या कुछ नहीं हो रहा है तो मास्टर्स में दूसरे 5 लाख रुपया खर्चा करके डाल दे, इसको कोई डिग्री ले ले। भाई ये डिग्री 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 कमाने से कुछ नहीं होने वाला, हमको डिग्री के साथ में स्किल्स भी डेवलप करनी पड़ेगी। Finally, 29% are very, very honest people. I really need your help to make me understand ये मुझे कैसे हेल्प करेगा एम्प्लॉयबिलिटी स्किल्स। सिर्फ डिग्रीज नहीं देखती इंडस्ट्री आज की तारीख में। गाइस, वो टाइम गया। 10 साल पहले जो जॉब्स अवेलेबल थे वो आज नहीं है, और आज के बाद में जो 10 साल के बाद में रहेंगे वो जॉब्स अभी भी नहीं है। इसका मतलब है इट इज अ ह्यूजली dynamic situation with the industries, and unless you understand the industry requirements very well, unless you develop the skills very well within you, सिर्फ degrees are not going to help you much. आपको इंडस्ट्री के अंदर जब इंटरव्यू देते हो ना, वो आपकी डिग्री देखते भी नहीं है बॉस, ये आपको शायद पता नहीं होगा। आप में एम्प्लॉयबल कितना है, आपका बोलने का ढंग, आपको इंडस्ट्री का नॉलेज, आपके एडिशनल क्या क्या आपने किया हुआ है। नॉर्मल अगर 98% स्टूडेंट्स क्या करते हैं, नॉर्मल होते हैं। मैंने बताया आपको नॉर्मल वर्सेस यूनिक का ही फाइट है ये, ठीक है। नॉर्मल रोड मैप है, 12th इन कॉमर्स लिया या बीकॉम या बीबीए में चले गए, या सीए फाउंडेशन किया, सीपीटी या सीएस का फाउंडेशन किया। These are the standard roadmaps. 15 lakh people, fresh students get into this commerce line. आफ्टर 12th। बहुत बड़ा नंबर है। और इसका 98% एक साइड है और दूसरी साइड में 2% मतलब कि 30,000 स्टूडेंट्स हैं जो यूनिक सीवी बनाते हैं अपना। How do they make this unique CV, which leads them for a much better job perspective, is something that we are going to talk about. आपके स्क्रीन के सामने ये सारा चीज बहुत क्लियरली पूरा रोड मैप दिया गया है। मुझे बताओ आप कौन से कैटेगरी में हो? क्या आप 98% के कैटेगरी में हो, या आप स्पेशली पैशन करियर अपनी डिजाइन करना चाहिए 2% वाला वो चाहिए कि सर हमको आप हेल्प करो और मुझे परफेक्ट वे में शुरू से अंत तक की जर्नी में हेल्प चाहिए? या ऐसा है कि मुझे पता है, मुझे मेरा पैशन पता है, हेल्प मी जस्ट टू रीच आउट, मुझे पता है मेरे को कहाँ जाना है, बट हेल्प मी टू रीच देयर। बहुत सारे ऐसे होते हैं जो बोलते हैं मुझे नहीं पता सर, मुझे लाइफ में कुछ करना है, करना है मुझे तो अच्छी तरह करना है, ऐसा नहीं कि मुझे सिर्फ नॉर्मल 98% स्टूडेंट की तरह इसको खत्म करके 15,000 12,000 की नौकरी करनी है या ऐसा कुछ करना है या स्टैंडर्ड में सीए कर दे। तो इंडिया में प्रॉब्लम क्या है? ये है पाई आपकी और खाने वाले ज्यादा है। तो आपके पास दो ऑप्शन हो सकता है। अब बहुत ध्यान से सुनो मेरी बात। आपके पास सिर्फ दो ऑप्शन है अगर लाइफ में दूसरों से आगे रहना है तो। ठीक है? या तो अपनी पाई ही बदल डालो कि जहां पे दूसरे बहुत कम हो, करेक्ट है, या तो अपनी पाई की साइज ही बढ़ा दो। ये है लोकल और ये है ग्लोबल। सीए है लोकल, सीपीए है ग्लोबल, सीएफए है ग्लोबल, एसीसीए है ग्लोबल, एफआरएम है ग्लोबल, एनआईएसएम लोकल। तो आपको पहले लोकल से अगर आप एम्प्लॉयबिलिटी फैक्टर ऐसा बढ़ा दो कि पूरी दुनिया में उस डिग्री की जो वैल्यू हो, उस चार्टर का रिक्वायरमेंट हो, तो मेरा तो पहले मार्केट ही बड़ा हो गया। ठीक है? और दूसरी चीज, जो ये 98 लोग करते हैं छोटा खाने में, अगर यहाँ पे सिर्फ दो आदमी खाने वाले ग्लोबली हो, तो आपके लिए बहुत अनकॉम्पिटिटिव अरीना में आप घुस रहे हो। अगर मोक्ष आपको हेल्प करेगा कुछ स्पेशल करियर डिजाइन करने में, शुरुआत से आपको उसी लेवल पे लेके जाएंगे जहां पे आप ग्लोबल यूनिक मैनर में स्किल्ड हो। 31% says sir I know my passion, just help me to make it come true। 10% says सर मुझे कुछ समझ में नहीं आ रहा है, मुझे और कुछ डिटेल में समझाओ। फैंटास्टिक। सो गाइस, अभी हम धीरे धीरे इस चीजों में घुस रहे हैं सोचने के लिए। आप सभी लोगों को पता होना चाहिए कि हम कॉमर्स के स्टूडेंट हैं, हम बिजनेस के स्टूडेंट्स हैं, हम फाइनेंस के स्टूडेंट्स हैं। हम सीरियस नहीं हो सकते लाइफ में। वो होता है वो इंजीनियरिंग, मेडिसिन, साइंस, पढ़ाकू लोग, नर्ड्स। वी आर नॉट दैट। We want to party, we want fun in life, we have lot of things which science people do not go through, but that does not mean ये फोकस एम्प्लॉयबिलिटी स्किल्स पे से हटाएंगे। बस मैंने आपको यही बताया, हमको कुछ अलग बनना है लाइफ में लिफ्ट होने के लिए। बाकी दुनिया भले ऐसे ही खड़ी रहे, हम अपने आप में, जब आपका ग्रेजुएशन चालू है फर्स्ट ईयर से थर्ड ईयर तक, तब तीनों साल में ऐसी स्किल्स को डेवलप करना है अपने आप में, सिर्फ डिग्री लेनी नहीं है। ये स्किल्स हमको अपलिफ्ट करेगी, अपग्रेड करेगी, और उसी की वजह से एक अलग तरीके से हमको सोचना पड़ेगा इस चीज को। ये क्या है तरीका है, मैं आपको बताता हूं। अब मेरे पास सिर्फ 10 मिनट है और 10 मिनट में मुझे आपको समझाना है एक सही रास्ता जहां से आपकी करियर बहुत बढ़िया तरीके से जाए। ठीक है? अब सबसे पहला सही रास्ता, जब तक आप इंडस्ट्री को नहीं समझेंगे, जब तक आप एम्प्लॉयर्स और उसकी रिक्वायरमेंट को नहीं समझेंगे, वो क्या चाहते हैं आपसे वो नहीं समझेंगे, तब तक आप अपने आप में कोई भी स्किल्स नहीं डाल सकते। और आपकी क्या ऐसी ट्रेड्स हैं जो सूटेबल मैच करना पड़ेगा आपको अलग अलग एम्प्लॉयर के साथ में फॉर डिफरेंट डिफरेंट जॉब रोल्स। मे बी somebody is very good suitable for equity research, while somebody is very good, very well, uh, very good for venture capital analyst. Now, salary structure for each one would be different. Like today, we have one of our, as our guest, Miss Ria Singhal. She is a wealth management expert. आपको वो कुछ वेल्थ मैनेजमेंट पे लेक्चर देने नहीं आई है, वो आएंगे, वो आपको अपनी करियर का रोड मैप समझाने को। तो आप तभी उस उनका आधा घंटा you can steal her experience, which otherwise you will have to pay by paying your time. You will pay very heavily to learn these kind of experiences. So हमको हमारी लाइफ में कुछ भी बनना है आगे जाके, then we need to know our employers, each of the job roles, and the people who are sitting in these job roles. So Moksh, what they have done is, Moksh is putting up every webinar. We get one person who is in tax, or somebody who is in hedge fund analyst, somebody who is a portfolio manager, somebody is a wealth management, somebody is equity research. Top industry professionals are brought in by Moksh for interaction with each one of you to understand the employers, the job roles, and the professionals. Slowly and steadily, you will be in a position to understand what suits you, what you could be good at, how could you form your career, and that's where Moksh comes into the picture. You don't know right now what you are good at, but we have a system in which we will identify what you are good at. We have a system wherein we have huge number of industry professionals who would love to talk to you and showcase what are the special traits that you must have, what are the interest levels that are for each of the job roles. So we are in 1 year, we are not going to do anything except explaining you the different job roles available in the industry, their salary scales, their time taken to grow, the success stories of the people, the live examples. Industrial professionals will come and explain you. You can ask them questions. So we have created a system of parallel education. And this parallel education, your normal track of BCom, BA, or BMS, or whatever bachelor BAF, whatever you are doing, accounts and finance, or bachelor of commerce and honors, XYZ, doesn't matter. Let that degree go on. Continue the way you are doing it, but please make sure that employability skills given by the industry professionals who come on this and talk to you and solve your. So there is an entire 3-year course that we have developed. It's called IFAF. Now this IFAF, International Foundation for Accounting and Finance, is a course which is given parted to the students online completely, okay, after identifying what is your actual interest. So we spend 1 year just to make you meet with 50 different industrial professionals and listen to them, understand their life story, and understand whether which skill that you would like to go, which industry where you will like to be employable, how do you want to attain this professionalism, and are you not wanting to go global instead of local? So what are your options in global? Like CA, CPA would be one of them, but there is a huge difference. Is ACCA better? Is FRM better for you? And what are these new degrees that you have never heard of? So I told you right from the beginning, 2% versus 98% common people. You want to be here. When you get attached with Moksh, we are not going to talk normal. We are going to talk about industry. We are going to talk about industry professionals teaching you. We are going to talk about the skills which are required for global education, global professions, not our normal things. So with this, I tell you, Mr. Chirag is there with us. He is the international certified career coach. He's the CEO of Moksh. So, Chiragji, are you there with us?
Yes, sir. Very much there.
And has our main guest also joined in today?
Yeah, absolutely. Ria ma'am has also joined in for the talk
Fantastic.
show, right?
it's an honor to have Ria ma'am on the show. And let me ask one question to all the students, and then I'll hand over the mic to Chirag ji for the talk show. Guys, don't miss this talk show, and don't even miss the next 15 minutes after the talk show, wherein we are going to actually showcase to you how thousands of people are given this new way of parallel education. Okay, one question that is going to showcase to us exactly what you are going to do in life. Very simple question. I would prefer to study hard, career planning with partying. I'm waiting to make think and then give an answer, and because this will give an insight into your actual mental situation. Guys, last 5 seconds, and I'm going to share these results with you, and you're going to be happy to read it yourself. Yeah, 18% says I would like to study hard during BCom. यार ये बहुत आप किसको झूठ बोल रहे हो यार, मेरे को या अपने आप से? बीकॉम में कौन इतना हार्ड स्टडी करता है, मुझे बताओ. 55% says career planning with partying during BCom is one of the things that I would like to do. Fantastic. 5% says I'm waiting to make more friends and enjoy these 3 years. And 23, excitement sabhi mein hai. Everybody has gone through that excitement when you are entering into 18 years and then into the undergraduate programs. Given a choice, I would only get employment. Fantastic, guys. So Chirag ji, please take over the mic from my end, and I welcome Miss Ria and welcome to the show. Thank you, guys, and enjoy the show. And I'm sure that you will learn a lot of things today from her experiences. Thank you.
So I welcome our guest today, Miss Ria Singla. So I will introduce Miss Singla. She has started a career as a fraud analyst with Kotak Mahindra Bank, but her passion was always into wealth management. So she currently works. All right. So I welcome you once again on behalf of the Moksh academic team and the faculties, as well as the students who are listening to your session today. So I welcome you once again. Students definitely are excited to know your journey. So the way the format of the session would work, that initially I shall be asking few questions on behalf of students, and followed by specific questions which we will take up from students, and depending on the discussion what we do, and any particular questions which comes to their mind. So I hope you're all set for this, and thank you once again to take your time out. All right, so my first question, yeah. So my first question, of course, is if you can tell us about your background and the qualification.
So, like in my introduction, I am working as a wealth manager with Anand Rathi Private Wealth right now. I started my career with Kotak Bank as a fraud analyst, which is a very different job to take up in the finance field. It's very different from the typical jobs you end up getting after your undergrad course. And after working with them for 2.5 years, I decided to shift to Anand Rathi and join the wealth management role. In terms of my qualifications, I did a BCom with specialization in financial markets, which is basically a BFM, as they like to call it. Topped it up with an MCom with specialization in business management, and currently I'm giving my level 3 of CFA, so I'll be appearing next year in 2021. And hopefully finishing that certification as well. So yeah, that's a little introduction about myself.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Of course, So next obvious question is, what is your career story so far, and why did you choose to, pursue wealth management, and how, what exactly is a fraud analyst, as you mentioned, and how the shift from being a fraud analyst to moving into wealth management, and why and how do you see your passion from, for wealth management?
Sure. So, when I was working as a fraud analyst, now I'll give a little brief about what fraud analyst as a role is, because it's a little new and niche and unique right now. So you are basically studying and trying to figure out if there's any kind of fraud that is happening within the organization. That is one aspect. The other aspect could be the fact that there's a fraud that's already taken place, and you are investigating and figuring out what was the process where you lagged, what is the lacuna or the loophole that you need to fill. So that is a role of a fraud analyst, and that's what I was doing in Kotak Bank. I was lucky enough to get a job right after graduation there. I joined internal audit team and transitioned into a fraud analyst role within the first 3-4 months of joining Kotak. Now, when I was working as a fraud analyst, I was supposed to analyze a lot of internal teams and segments of the bank, and wealth management being one of them as well. And that's exactly where my interest in wealth management started. That it's a very niche, it's not a niche role actually, but it's a very classy role in a manner. It's a lot to do with interaction with people, which I really like to do. And I decided to transition into the wealth management role after 2.5 years with Kotak. I joined as an account manager, which is also known as service relationship managers, or SRM, where you are helping a successful RM manage his book or manage his existing clients, answering client queries, taking care of portfolio analysis or portfolio statements. So you really get your hand dirty in the game, and you grow from the ground up. And moving from account manager role, I became a relationship manager myself, where now I manage my own set of clients. I advise clients, I acquire clients for my book. So yes, that's been the career story and the transition, and why I chose to move away from a fraud analyst role and join a wealth management industry.
That seems to be a very interesting transition early on in your career. Absolutely. In fact, already I had questions from students. What exactly? Because they heard fraud analyst for the first time, and those questions were there. Thank you for answering that as well. Great. So, what does a typical day look like for you in your current role, as a wealth manager? I mean, if we consider, do you work only on weekdays, weekends? How heavy it is? Do you have pressures, targets, or how exactly does your day span out?
So, okay, working on weekends or only working weekdays depends from organization to organization. But let me be honest, we are in a client-facing role, right? I am managing and advising clients on their private wealth or their private finances. So a client can actually end up giving you a call on a weekend as well to have a certain kind of a discussion. So that is there, but it also allows you to kind of manage your work and your home as well, because you can plan your meetings accordingly during the day. So a typical day would basically start with reading the news, because you have to be well read. आपको पता नहीं, I mean, of course, your client could be from any field of work, right? Need not be from finance. It could be a doctor, it could be an IT guy, it could be a hardcore businessman, it could be a manufacturing person. So you need to be on top of news and the latest happening in these sectors, so that you can have a conversation with the client, right? So a typical day will start with just brushing up on news and catching up on the latest happening around the world. Um, After that, of course, you have client calls. Right now, because of COVID, we are definitely not traveling to meet our clients, but we would go to their offices, meet them, discuss their portfolios, or discuss any fresh investments, or discuss estate planning with them, how to manage their wills and everything. A fair bit of my day is actually spent in analyzing the kind of investments they already have in place and strategizing an investment plan for them, which also like I said, involves around not just अच्छा investment ये कर लो, but how would you protect your wealth? How do you safeguard your wealth? How do you look at transferring your assets from your generation to the next generation, right? Because these are typically HNI Indian clients that I manage, and a fair bit of my day also goes in prospecting. So how do I acquire my new clients? Are there any kind of references that I can get from existing clients? Or do I need to, how do I connect with people? to let them know about the kind of services we offer. With respect to targets, again, targets are there. I would not lie about it, but again, depends from company to company how much pressure are they putting on their employees, and of course your individual performance as well. If you're performing well, you're fine, but if you are lagging, then of course any company is going to put that extra pressure. Okay, hey, you need to meet your targets.
Think so. Definitely, I see one opportunity in this role is that you get to meet a new set of people very regularly. So career counseling or kind of counseling is also indirectly involved in your case, because until and unless client from a non-finance background, I'm sure you'll have to educate them about the financial products also. So yes, client facing, career counseling, research seems to be an important factor in your domain. That is interesting.
Absolutely.
So, which means the job is dynamic and it's not monotonous as per the picture what I get, from our discussion. So that is interesting.
Absolutely.
So then,
Absolutely.
yeah, yeah. So absolutely. So keeping that in mind, what do you like the best about your job?
It's like you just summarize. It's dynamic. It's not monotonous. Every conversation with every single client is different. Some people are overly emotional about money, while some people are very practical about money. So, how you will manage both set of clients to come to the same page? Sometimes it's like the wife is super emotional about the money, while the husband is super practical, and you have to take an approach that will appease both of them to follow that strategy. And at the same time, I also need to understand the objectives of both the clients with respect to the personal wealth. So it's never boring. It's never the same conversation with people. I get to actually learn a lot personally as well, because I'm interacting with people from different fields. It helps me network. I can connect a client of mine who is in a manufacturing field. Let's say he needs some CA, and I have a client who is a CA. I can actually get them connected, and my personal network as well grows with it. So yeah, the dynamism and the fact that it's never the same conversation is just
That is
to
interesting, and of course, I always recommend a student networking is the key for success in any professional field. So appreciate that as well. What are your few high points in your career so far, or key projects or key clients you've worked on? I mean, just the success stories if you can share with the students.
Sure. I mean, see, of course, with respect to success stories, every client that you acquire, you have put in so much of efforts, so much of time, so much of analysis. So every single client that you actually end up acquiring during your journey is a success story in itself. But one that really stands out for me has nothing to do with the acquisition stories, right? So when I joined Anand Rathi, and I wanted to transition from the account manager role to the relationship management role. Within 2 years of joining, they actually shortlisted me for those set of people who, okay, these are probably the next set of RMs we are looking at, and the company actually helped me to upskill myself, because education is one aspect. I joined a little early, so of course I was hearing Dhananjay also speak about employability skills. It's highly important to have certain skills that are transferable. वो स्किल्स आपके एएम रोल में भी काम करती हैं, वो स्किल्स आपके आरएम रोल में भी काम करेंगी, कल आप अपना फील्ड चेंज करते हो तो उधर भी वो काम करेंगी. So just the fact that when I got shortlisted, I made a point to work on those skills that will get me to transition from AM to RM, but at the same time is the same set of skills just getting finer and more refined. So yeah, the key highlight would be the fact when I got shortlisted, and yeah, it ended up being a very, very enriching experience.
Interesting. So definitely, I mean, smart work and hard work definitely, kind of is rewarded. So now when we talk about challenges, what kind of challenges did you face in your career and how have you overcome them, so far, basically?
So the biggest challenge was to network with people and finding ways to connect with the HNI families in India and introducing a proposition, so which is basically the acquiring of new clients, right? What helped me overcome was taking help, never being afraid to go and ask a senior, okay, hey, you know what? A little stuck here. Would you be able to help me out? Would your company me for this meeting? What do you think I should do in this particular client meeting? A lot of mock calls and mock discussions with my peers or with my seniors in the office actually helped me overcome that inhibition or overcome that fear that you may have, and strategizing with them as to how to connect, how to put forward. So it's okay to ask for help, and yeah, that's actually what helped me get out of and face my challenges and get out of all the problems.
Interesting. You mentioned about client acquisition is a challenge, right? So I definitely want to understand the perspective, because typically in India, the CA does everything. Whether it is accounting, bookkeeping, or whether to invest or manage wealth. That's a mindset. And a professional wealth manager coming and speaking to them, how did you
Right.
overcome this challenge? That traditionally, I mean, that's the mindset of the people. Yeah.
You're actually bang on to that. That's absolutely correct. That is exactly what happens in 95% of my cases, right? That is why wealth management also becomes a very niche role. Because a CA has his own set of skills that he is an expert of, right? It's taxation, it's bookkeeping, it's accounting, it is chartered accountants, right? That's what the certification or the degree reads. So the area of expertise is that. But in India, we have kind of made CA as a go-to degree for everything related to finance, be it wealth management, risk management, derivatives, accounting, taxation. CA को ही हम prefer करते हैं. So when you actually go, it's very important. Like when I actually go and meet my clients and put myself as a wealth manager, and they give me a counter, okay, hey, I already have a CA who's looking at it, right? You have to make them understand that wealth management is not just about investing. It's also about how to protect your wealth, right? Because these are people who are ultra rich. It's also about how do you transmit your assets from one generation to another. आपका assets एक generation से दूसरे generation में कैसे जाएगा? ये सारे काम शायद से CA हमारी help ना कर पाए उधर, right? उनका area expertise अलग है, हमारा area expertise अलग है, and that is exactly what we have to communicate for a client to be interested in taking my services as a wealth manager.
Interesting. Yeah, that is a very important perspective, students. For some reason, every person who's aspiring to choose, a career right after 12th, everybody has CA in mind. But in reality, there are a lot of professional careers, available. Wealth management is very much one of the options which you guys can definitely consider. So, Ria, what is your outlook for the wealth management industry as a whole? I mean, I see it's still in a nascent stage in India, but what is the outlook 5 years, 10 years down the line?
See, it's an evergreen industry, right? And in a country like India, which is growing, the number of millionaires and billionaires are only going to grow. So the scope is huge. The only limitation that, or kind of a parallel industry that has come into picture right now is robo advisory, where you have algorithms or artificial intelligence programs already in place to kind of rebalance your portfolio. But then let's be honest, people work very hard to earn this money, so they're very emotionally attached to it most of the time, and they would prefer a human touch than an automatic kind of an adjustment in their portfolio. And so yes, the scope is huge, the outlook is brilliant, it's an evergreen industry. Even in today's time when we are going through a pandemic, there are enough and more people who are still requiring our services. We are still working the full 9 to 5, 9 to 6 kind of a job. So yeah, it's pretty strong. It's evergreen.
Interesting. So, this is wealth management is one of the career which seems like COVID proof in this scenario as well. And you have already answered your question, which was obviously the thought in mind when you mentioned about artificial intelligence and robots replacing future of jobs. But as you mentioned, that emotional connect and interaction is very much an essential skill, and a touch which definitely any client facing role would require, because that is not something which will ever get replaceable. So thank you for that perspective as well. Now, what certification, designations, license have you earned on your way? Because I believe you mentioned that you're going to give the last level. So what all parallel certifications you've done other than your core degree?
So like, of course, CFA is there. There are enough online platforms like EDX or Moods that offer you certifications in finance that you can, of course, enroll for and upskill yourself. But in a field like wealth management or a relationship management role in general, it's more important to carry those skill set and personality, to build that personality, than to build a plethora of certificates and degrees. Because जब आप क्लाइंट के सामने बैठ के बात कर रहे हैं, वो आपको आपकी स्किल सेट के लिए ऑफ कोर्स जज कर रहा है, बट आपकी पर्सनालिटी के लिए भी जज कर रहा है. So yeah, of course, I've done a couple of courses, certificate courses from all of these websites, and my main core degree has been a BCom, MCom, and CFA. And in terms of licenses, as a mutual fund advisor, you have to apply for the NISM license. So yes, that's a mandate. Same applies to, let's say, if you are also selling insurance, you will have to apply for a license with IRDA, which are typically valid for 3 to 5 years. So yeah, I have NISM license as well to sell mutual funds.
Yeah, that is again important thing, that you should definitely consider certification licenses. However, it should not be just bunch of things appearing in your CV, but the application, and moreover, as you mentioned, when you are in a client facing roles, your communication, your body language, and things like that also needs to be worked. The personality development is also a very important factor, which students needs to consider to become more employable. Interesting. So now, of course, I do ask all the professionals, and this is a very important question, because for students to understand, how different is learning in classroom and things you learned, while we were in Kotak, or even right now in your current role, learning on the job.
Oh, absolutely different. See, a classroom learning will be theoretical. It will probably fail to consider a lot of variables and a lot of moving variables. It will not be able to take into account the human touch and the new human factor life brings in. So it's completely different. For example, when we study finance, we are working with the assumption that an investor is rational and the market is perfect, right? But that's not the case when you're actually in the industry and talking to clients and trying to make them understand. It could be one emotional story that happened when they had just started working, because of which they have a bad experience, let's say, of investing in equities or anything of that sort. So it's completely different, and I would actually highly suggest students to go and do internships along with their course as well, or whenever they get a break from their college. It really helps them to get familiarized with working environment, get a practical experience before they jump into 9 to 5 kind of a job role. So yeah, internships always help you to kind of test the water before you really jump into the pool.
Absolutely, that's again a very important perspective, students. So, what advice would you have for a college student interested in a similar career as yours? What do you think are key 2 or 3 factors, or go-to strategies if they were to consider a career in wealth management?
So A is to, of course, try get an internship with a wealth management outfit, or with a private banker, or with a privileged banking system that we have. That will help you understand what this role is completely. Second is to work on your personality, work on your communication skills, because आप continuously हर रोज एक स्ट्रेंजर को जाके अपने बारे में, अपने कंपनी के बारे में, अपनी सर्विसेज के बारे में बताएंगे. So communication becomes very important. Third, start networking. It's okay to network, because even if 5 years down the line you decide, hey, this is not a field for me, it's okay. You can still capitalize on that network. So 3 things to focus on mainly, and read the newspapers without fail. So 4 things actually: read the newspaper, network, read the newspapers, network, work on your communication skills, and try to get an internship with a wealth management outfit or with a bank.
Absolutely. So that is a very important thing. Research seems to be very important. Communication skills, interacting with people, so networking. Great insights, Ria. So definitely now, what we will do is we'll pick up questions from students and parents attending these sessions. So students, all of you have a question panel, and we have next 5 to 7 minutes where Ria ma'am will be available with us. So quickly type in your questions and I will be asking them on your behalf. So the first question, Ria, we have for you is by Shuryans Jain. He's asking wealth management, is it difficult or not? He's like an average student. So
Sorry.
is the career is wealth management as a career difficult or not? That's his question actually.
Okay. So, Shreyansh, wealth management as a career can prove to be difficult because you are dealing with targets, you are dealing with clients, but at the same time, it's very exciting. See, whichever role you end up taking, there's always going to be one difficult part of it, an exciting part of it, and an easy part of it. So wealth management proves to be difficult for most of the people, including myself, because आपको client acquire करने पड़ते हैं या आपको client manage करने पड़ते हैं. वो client कहीं से भी कोई भी question आपको पूछ सकता है. But at the same time, it's very exciting because हर बार आप एक client से different conversation कर रहे हो. आपको खुद बहुत कुछ सीखने को मिलेगा इस field में. And धीरे धीरे you will realize that wealth management is actually not that difficult. It's just that you need to have that motivation to be there, talk, and network with people, and you will get your job done.
So next question, of course, is from Harsh Gupta. He says that if he wants to become an entrepreneur, is it possible to work as a wealth management specialist? Like, can he work on his own in the field of wealth management industry?
Oh, absolutely. So they are basically called IFAs in our parlance, who work as individuals helping clients to manage their wealth. So that's possible, absolutely possible. You might have to do tie-ups with the different AMCs or different kind of organizations which offer product, and then as per an investment need आपको वो product उस client को pitch करना होगा, समझाना होगा और वो investment करनी होगी. But yes, it's highly possible to be an entrepreneur in this field as well.
Next question, of course, is by Mrityunjay Kohli. She is asking that can he do a BBA and parallelly think of a wealth management career?
A BBA and then parallelly think of a wealth management career? Of course, yes. But the only suggestion would be that be up to date on the financial markets aspect as well, because when you are doing wealth management, 60% of your job is related to financial markets. So it is okay to have a BBA degree, but it is important for you to track the market and understand what's happening there. So if you can manage both the things together, that's perfectly fine.
So that was actually the next question by Bhavik. He says, I'm interested in stock trading as well, So, I mean, as you mentioned, so if we consider the BFM and then if he's thinking about wealth management, I think that would make sense.
Actually, yes, because you get an idea about what financial markets are. And if for speaking about stock trading specifically, yes, BFM would be of help. And there are a lot of NSC and NISM papers that might interest Bhavik as well.
Absolutely. Next question is from Prashansha Agarwal. She's saying, what kind of skills are required now in the new market? Like, what I understand, meaning maybe post-COVID world, what kind of skills are required?
So firstly, Prashansha, it's a beautiful name that you have. The kind of skills required post-COVID, A would be communication, B would be networking. Now, these are in addition to the basic skills that you require to be a financial advisor or a wealth manager. You have to be on top of financial world, you have to know what's happening around, not just in India but even abroad. ये सब तो पता होना ही चाहिए. 3, you have to be technologically savvy. Learn Microsoft Suite, so learn your Excel. It helps you get your work done quicker and faster. and makes you rely less on people. आपको wait नहीं करना पड़ेगा कोई आपको वो analysis करके भेजे, आप खुद कर सकते हो क्योंकि आपको Excel भी आता है और आपको analysis करनी भी आती है. So becoming technologically savvy would definitely help. But yeah, it's still more about relationship management. So communication is still there on top of the list.
So thank you, Ria, so much for your time today. It's not half an hour for our interaction. I really appreciate your presence today, and I really hope that we will be able to see you more on the future sessions of IFAF as well. I wish you all the very best for your career on behalf of students of Moksh and the faculty community. Thank you very much once again to be part of this session. And one last audio, last few words to our students, whatever you feel like. Yeah, last words.
So the only suggestion I would say is that, of course, you've just completed your 12th, so congratulations on that first. Let's celebrate that. Moving on to your college is going to be a memorable 3-4 years of your life where you're going to make a lot of friends and you will enjoy a lot. Try to experiment a little in terms of your internships if you're not clear as to where you are headed, so that you get a taste of what different fields are like and the kind of things you dislike, and like some internships you're gonna hate and some internships you're gonna love. So try to do as many different internships so that you get the taste of working, what your 9-to-5 job looks like, and have a lot of fun, read, network, and enjoy your college life thoroughly. And yeah, like I said, internships, because I did like 4 internships during my 3 years of college and it has helped me a lot. So just intern with people, work a little in the break. So yeah, and thank you, Chirag, for having me here. It's been a pleasure, and I hope I could have added a little bit of value to your students as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much, Ria, and hope to see you soon in the future sessions as well. Thank you very much, Ria. Thank you. All right, students. So
Thank you,
we
Chirag.
will now. Thank you, Ria. So now we will proceed ahead for the next few discussions. Which is very important. I see lots of questions from the students, and believe me, I will be answering them all. So जैसे कि सर ने हमें बताया कि yes, I see a lot of questions. BBA है या BCom है, CA foundation है या CS है. We will definitely discuss that. But please understand one very important aspect. We all are moving to the new normal. Currently, we are all living in a VUCA world. हमारी markets volatile है, job markets uncertain है, international trade complex हो चुका है, and government policies are ambiguous. Okay, so things are moving and changing very fast. Only thing constant is change. तो अगर हमें सक्सीड होना है, तो जैसे कि रिया मैम ने बताया या सर ने बताया, यू नीड टू कीप इन माइंड जो आपको कॉलेज में मिलने वाला है फ्रॉम योर BCom, BBA, BFM, दैट इज ऑल योर कॉग्निटिव एबिलिटीज, skills, content skills, or maybe little bit of technical skills. But आपका जो success है, whether you want to start up your own business or do a great job in a big multinational company, the success factors are your social skills, your resource management. How do you manage money? How do you manage material? How do you manage people? How do you manage time? Your judgment and decision making skills, your problem solving skills. तो आपको अगर लाइफ में सक्सेस चाहिए in a job or in a business setup, you need to work on your employability skills, and that is exactly the program which we are going to help you. Ayush, absolutely, I will explain you how to think about an international accounting career. All right, Bhavik, your question about those technical analyst, wealth management, we will answer that. Please understand what exactly is the IFAF program. IFAF is a parallel track of your degree. आप एक CFA, आप एक CA, SCCA, जो भी आपके इंटरनेशनल चार्टर्ड है, उस तरफ कैसे बढ़ोगे, उसका ये जर्नी है. We will first introduce to 50+ job roles available for you as a student. We will make you interact with the industry professionals. We will try to match your likings with the job roles. We will make you find and understand your passion. फर्स्ट ईयर में आप आइडेंटिफाई सारे अपने पैशन करोगे, उसके बाद आप एम्प्लॉयबिलिटी स्किल्स पे फोकस करोगे, एंड इन द फाइनल ईयर यू विल बी अपीयरिंग फॉर द ग्लोबल चार्टर एग्जामिनेशंस. So this is a very different program, and the reason we had to bring this and help thousands of students is because there is a need. Gone are the days ki okay, अगर कुछ नहीं हुआ लाइफ में तो MBA कर लेंगे. That has changed. People are planning their career well advanced. ठीक है, तो IFAF में होता क्या है कि आप फर्स्ट ईयर में बेसिक मॉड्यूल्स पढ़ते हो, सेकेंड ईयर में आप पहले जानते हो क्या आप पैशनेट हो फाइनेंशियल मार्केट के बारे में और कॉर्पोरेट फाइनेंस, और आर यू somebody who wants to get into risk management, financial engineering or international accounting. Later on, what do you want to do in life? Do you want to become a financial planner? Do you want to work in a technology and finance like a fintech background? Do you want to get into trading? When you say trading, it's not just stock trading. There are algo trading, there are Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, derivatives. There are lots of trading opportunities available. Research is equally a big field. Equity research, technical research, investment banking. You might be hearing, X company acquired Y company for $300 million, $400 million. Those all things come under investment banking. Risk management. Today, lots of international companies, international banks, government, lend their money for big projects. तो कितना पैसा देना है, क्या उसका ROI रहेगा, तो वो डिसाइड कौन करता है? रिस्क मैनेजर्स और रिस्क मॉडलिंग मैनेजर्स. फाइनेंशियल एनालिटिक्स, अकाउंट्स, फॉरेंसिक और फ्रॉड अकाउंटिंग, जैसे कि रिया मैम ने बताया, टैक्सेशन, ऑडिट, स्ट्रैटेजी, all of these are so many different fields. So before just picking up, oh, I only want to do a BBA, I only want to do a CA foundation, I only want to do a CS, first of all, my question to you is, how many of you know all of these fields? Are you aware of these fields? Yes or no? If not, then that is the journey which you need to take with IFAF. IFAF may you will understand in the year one the entire world of business. What kind of innovations are happening in finance? What are the decision-making players? Industry interaction. उसके बाद professionally आपकी psychometric assessment होगी, counselors आपके साथ बात करेंगे, and then we will decide whether you want to make a career into corporate finance, risk management, international accounting, financial planning, or financial market. Year two is when you decide your electives. But just keep in mind, there are compulsory modules also, like the IFRS, business communication skills, digital media, employability skills. All of these are compulsory for you to succeed. Okay, what is IFRS? IFRS is International Financial Reporting Standards. The way we know Spanish, we know German, we know French. Similarly, जब तक मुझे IFRS एक फाइनेंस की रिपोर्टिंग स्टैंडर्ड जो ग्लोबल लेवल पर है वो नहीं आएगी, तो आई विल नॉट बी एबल टू डील विद ग्लोबल कंपनीज. सो दैट इज व्हाट IFAF फोकसेस ऑन. डेफिनेटली आप अपना बीकॉम अपने कॉलेज में जारी रखिए, BBA जारी रखिए, BCA जारी रखिए, जो भी प्रोग्राम आप अपने कॉलेज में कर रहे हो डेफिनेटली वो आप करते रहो, नो प्रॉब्लम. बट पैरेलली IFAF करने से फायदा क्या है कि you will be ahead of 98% of students जो इतने सीरियस नहीं होते, just enjoy करते हैं. Because in the third year, either you would have done level 1, FRM किया होगा, ACC आपने किया होगा, CFP किया होगा, or NISM, or you would be part of the fintech world. Most importantly, in the IFAF, every student in the third year will have to compulsorily do the virtual internship and a live industry project. So this is exactly the program which we are offering to all of you. Okay, so it's a game-changing program. Reason, what is the reason why IFAF is so popular amongst Indian students? Simple logic. अगर आपका सिर्फ और सिर्फ BCom, BBA, BCA, etc. degree है, तो this kind of salaries is what you are earning per year, start salary. इफ यू हैव अ बीकॉम प्लस टैली जैसे डिग्री और एक छोटा सा स्किल है, तो दिस इज योर एनुअल सैलरी। ओके, कुछ लोग सोचते हैं चलो और कुछ नहीं हुआ लाइफ में, एमबीए कर लेते। नाउ एमबीए इज ऑलमोस्ट अ लॉन्ग लॉस्ट डिग्री पोस्ट कोविड। ओके, कुछ लोग सोचते चलो सीएस सीएससी कर देते, बहुत लोग दुनिया भर के लोग सीएस कर रहे तो शायद अच्छा ही होगा। अब नो प्रॉब्लम, उसमें कोई इश्यू नहीं है, तो उसकी इनकम अराउंड 4.5 पर एनम होती है। हाउएवर, if you are considering a IFAF program in which in the third year आपके रिसर्च के बाद आपको क्लैरिटी होगी कि जब मैंने बीकॉम बीबीए बीसीए किया, पैरेलली ये एग्जाम्स भी क्लियर की है, तो योर करियर आउटकम्स विल बी डिफरेंट। दिस इज समथिंग आपको समझना है। प्लीज अंडरस्टैंड द कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ पैरेलल एजुकेशन। ओके, गॉन आर द डेज ऑफ 12th कर लिया, अच्छा लाइफ में कुछ नहीं, बीकॉम टाइम पास कर लिया, फिर एमबीए कर लेंगे। कोविड ने चीजें बदल दी है। माय टीम विल शेयर विद यू फोर्ब्स आर्टिकल। फोर्ब में क्या लिखा गया है, लेट अस क्विकली सी व्हाट फोर्ब्स इज सेइंग इन टर्म्स ऑफ द करियर। ओके, तो फोर्ब्स का अगर हम आर्टिकल देखेंगे तो व्हाट आर दे सेइंग, आफ्टर कोविड एमबीए की कोई वैल्यू है? फोर्ब्स इज एन इंटरनेशनल लेवल मैगजीन। Is an MBA worth it after COVID-19? Absolutely not. 2 साल का टाइम एंड लाखों रुपए वेस्ट नहीं करने। तो करना क्या है? करना है पैरेलल स्किल। ये कौन कह रहा है? CNBC। CNBC ये ग्लोबल बिजनेस न्यूज चैनल है। What is CNBC saying to us? CNBC is saying that future of work will not be about degrees, it will be about skill sets. तो हमें स्किल सेट के पीछे भागना है, डिग्रीज के पीछे नहीं भागना है। सो दिस इज समथिंग विच ऑल ऑफ यू नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड। सो प्लीज चेंज योर पर्सपेक्टिव। बीकॉम लिया, बीकॉम ऑनर लिया, कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा अपने लाइफ में जब तक पैरेलली कोई स्किल कोर्स नहीं कर रहे हो। डोंट बी सो मच ऑब्सेस्ड बीकॉम या बीबीए। ये सोचो कि मैं कोई भी फील्ड लूंगा मगर पैरेलली आई विल फाइंड आउट व्हाट आर द जॉब रोल्स, जैसे कि आया गया है टू इंटर्नशिप्स, आई विल डू ग्लोबल सर्टिफिकेशन। सो यस, यू नीड टू aspire, explore, execute and finally achieve your dream. You need to be ready for industry. As our prime minister also said, it's not just about looking for job, आपको खुद को आत्मनिर्भर बनना है। तो यू नीड टू सी, आई डोंट ओनली वांट टू एस्पायर दैट आप सोचो कि बस मुझे ये कंपनीज में जॉब करना है। आपको ये सोचना है कि हाउ कैन आई डू बिजनेस विद दीज कंपनीज, एंड दैट इज एग्जैक्टली द पर्सपेक्टिव चेंज you need to get among your team, so whether you are a BCom, BBI, BFM, BMS, BAF, doesn't matter. I invite you to consider the IFAF program, which will happen parallel to your degree college online, to ensure कि आप industry के लिए तैयार हो। This is something आप लोगों को समझना है। Of course, I will be answering every question which you guys have, but definitely keep this in mind. Your first step is the hardest. You have to make it. Moksh has branches across India. You can visit any of these branches and get the complete information, or else you can do a one-on-one online counseling also. Our team members are available online also to share the questions with you. All right, great. So now let us see what questions do we have. Are there any roles of a technical analyst in wealth manager? Bhavik, if you want to work as a technical analyst guy, you can, I mean, technical analysis is a skill. अगर आपने वो स्किल वेल्थ मैनेजमेंट में भी यूज की तो डेफिनेटली यू कैन यूटिलाइज। अगर आप एक टेक्निकल एनालिस्ट हो तो आप अपने क्लाइंट को अच्छे से बता पाओगे कि कौन सा स्टॉक बाय करना है, नहीं बाय करना है, बेस्ड ऑन दैट नॉलेज ऑफ योर्स। So absolutely no problem about it. All right. What is your suggestion about digital marketing? Om, digital marketing is one of the compulsory skills. So jitne bhi IFAF ke students hai, we definitely are going to train them for the digital skill. That's a compulsory thing. And without that, आप कोई भी फील्ड में जाओगे, अगर आप टेक्नोलॉजी एडवांस नहीं हो, अगर आपने डिजिटल मार्केटिंग और डिजिटल स्किल्स नहीं सीखी, इट्स नॉट गोइंग टू हेल्प यू। अज्यूम आप एक वेल्थ मैनेजर हो, आपको अपने ब्लॉग्स लिखने होंगे, आपको सोशल मीडिया पे अपने ओपिनियंस देने पड़ेंगे। दैट्स हाउ यू विल नेटवर्क, दैट्स हाउ यू विल बिकम पॉपुलर। So absolutely yes, digital marketing is a skill. Can I do BBA with average marks? प्रिंस, आप कोई भी फील्ड में जा सकते हो, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है। आप बीकॉम चूज करो या बीबीए करो, मगर पैरेलली आपको एक आईफैफ जैसा प्रोग्राम करना पड़ेगा। ओके, इट निधि, अगेन आई एम आंसरिंग यू, वेदर इट इज बीसीए और बीकॉम, दैट्स योर चॉइस। If you like technical skills, yes, you can do a BCA. But BCA with IFAF will make you entry into financial technology field. BCom plus IFAF will make you become any of these job roles available. I hope you're able to understand. आपको एक academic degree लेनी है and parallelly ये courses करने हैं। Harsh, as I just told you, we don't recommend MBA right now. आप एमबीए के भूत से निकल जाओ। एंटरप्रेन्योर का मीनिंग क्या है? जो बिजनेस कर रहा है। आप बैचलर्स लेवल पे बिजनेस स्किल सीखो। एवरेज एज टू डू अ बीबीए एमबीए ग्लोबल इज 32 इयर्स। ये इंडिया में ही लोगों को क्रेज है, ग्रेजुएशन के तुरंत बाद एमबीए करते हैं। दीज आर फ्रेशर्स एमबीए, उसका डिमांड नहीं होता, इसीलिए आप बड़े से बड़े ऑफिसेज में चले जाइए, एमबीए के बाजू में वही बीकॉम वाला बंदा बट सीएफए के साथ ज्यादा सैलरी में काम करता है कंपेयर टू एन एमबीए। ओके, सो प्लीज अंडरस्टैंड दिस। सो आई जस्ट told all of you, okay, people are asking about IFAF program. So guys, everybody has a handout section. आपके यहाँ पर एक हैंडआउट लगा हुआ है, वो आप डाउनलोड कर सकते हो। यहाँ पर आपको सारी जानकारी IFAF की मिल जाएगी कि किस तरह से 3 साल में हम आपको हेल्प करेंगे। रवि ठाकरे इज आस्किंग व्हाट इज द डिफरेंस बिटवीन सीए एंड आईएफएफ। डिफरेंस ये है कि आपको सीए करना है कि नहीं करना, वो आईएफएफ बताएगा। आप ब्लाइंडली आंखों में पट्टी बांध के, क्योंकि बाजू वाला कर रहा है, क्योंकि शर्मा जी का बेटा कर रहा है, सीए नहीं करोगे। आप सीए करोगे अगर आप आईफैफ प्रोग्राम करोगे, उसमें प्रोफेशनल से बात करोगे, और अगर आपको जरूरत पड़ी तो सीए करोगे। जस्ट बिकॉज भेड़ बकरी की तरह हजारों बच्चे कर रहे, मैं भी सीए करूं, नहीं। आईफैफ प्रोग्राम ओपन्स डोर फॉर ऑल द ऑप्शंस। आप आईफैफ के थ्रू जो आपको इंटरनेशनल लेवल पे प्रोफेशनल बनना है वो बन सकते हो। दैट इज द डिफरेंस। आईफैफ इज अ करियर डेवलपिंग प्रोग्राम. IFAF is not going to replace your CA, but IFAF will tell you whether you require to become another CA, or maybe you can become an excellent international accounting professional. You can become an excellent risk management professional. Decision making कैसे होना चाहिए वो आपको IFAF बताने वाला है। आज रिया मैम ने वेल्थ मैनेजमेंट के बारे में बताया। आप देख सकते हैं इंडिया इज एक्सपेक्टेड टू बी 4th लार्जेस्ट प्राइवेट वेल्थ मार्केट बाय 2028। तो अगर पूरी दुनिया सीए करेगी तो इतनी बड़ी मार्केट में एंट्री कैसे मिलेगी? आप इस बात को समझो। सीए हर चीज का सलूशन नहीं है। बाहर आओ वो सपनों से और रियलिटी को देखो, दुनिया बदल रही है। रिया मैम ने आपको बताया म्यूचुअल फंड का लाइसेंस अगर एनआईएसएम से मिल जाए तो वो भी करना चाहिए। आप देख सकते हो म्यूचुअल फंड मार्केट कितनी बड़ी है। It is a $130 million account, investment account leading to $1.47 trillion. इतनी बड़ी म्यूचुअल फंड मार्केट इंडिया में है। तो अगर मैं सिर्फ सीए बनूंगा तो क्या करूंगा मैं? ये आपको समझना है। IFAF is a mentorship program, जहां पर आपको बेस्ट ऑफ द प्रोफेशनल्स मिलाया जाएगा। आपको पूरी की पूरी पैरेलल ट्रेनिंग दी जाएगी। ओके, ताकि आप ब्लाइंडली कोई सीए चूज ना करो, आप डिसीजन मेकिंग करो। टॉप प्रोफेशनल्स जो खुद सीएफओ है उनसे बात करते हुए, जो खुद वैल्यूएशन एनालिस्ट है उनसे बात करते हुए, जो खुद इक्विटी रिसर्च है, जो खुद कंप्लायंस का बंदा है, जो खुद टैक्स सिखाते हैं, जो खुद फॉरेक्स के बंदे हैं, जो खुद फाइनेंशियल इंजीनियरिंग का जॉब करते हैं। That is the IFAF program. IFAF will make your career depending on your own interest. ऑलराइट, तो ये ब्रोशर सभी लोगों को डाउनलोड करना है। हैंडआउट सेक्शन में इसके बारे में सारी इंफॉर्मेशन आपके पास है कि आप डेफिनेटली आपकी जिस जिस कॉलेज में आप बीकॉम, बीबीए, बीसीए कर रहे थे वो कंटिन्यू करिए, मगर पैरेलली ये प्रोग्राम करने से आपके मल्टीपल जॉब रोल्स खड़े होते हैं। दैट इज द डिफरेंस। करंटली नोबडी इज टेलिंग यू कि वेदर आप सीए के लिए रेडी हो या नहीं हो। दैट इज समथिंग इज द डिफरेंट प्रोग्राम। ओके, आईफएफ का फोकस यही है कि मैं सीएफए करूं या नहीं करूं, उसके लिए मेरे पास 2 साल है जब मैं पूरा रिसर्च करूंगा, और अगर मैं मुझे इंटरेस्ट है तो ही मैं सीएफए करूंगा, तो ही मैं एसीसीए करूंगा। तो ब्लाइंडली जस्ट बिकॉज लोगों ने बोला ये प्रोग्राम मैं नहीं करूंगा, इसकी पूरी जर्नी है। ईयर 1 में ये पढ़ूंगा, ईयर 2 में ये पढ़ूंगा, उसके बाद ईयर 3 में डिसाइड करूंगा। दैट इज समथिंग यू गाइस नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड। ऑलराइट, where can I get job after doing MCOM? You can get job in any industry which wants just a Masters of Commerce person. But if you are looking at an international career, then you should have an international parallel program. All right. So this is something which you need to understand. IFAF is a parallel to undergrad program. Prashansa, you want to know about the fees and the details of the program? You definitely can download this brochure which is there in your handout section and call upon these numbers and people will help you with the enrollment formalities. Harsh Gupta, that's a great option, but how can you decide? आज आप कैसे डिसाइड करोगे सीएमए कर लूं मैं? ठीक है, मेरा क्वेश्चन ये है कि आपको पहले तो ये जानना है कि बॉम्बे से दिल्ली जाना है या बॉम्बे से बैंगलोर जाना है। आप मुझे पूछ रहे हो रेलवे अच्छी है, एयरलाइन अच्छी है। जो बच्चे भी पूछ रहे हैं कि सीए अच्छा है या सीएमए अच्छा है या सीएफए अच्छा है, वो मुझे ये पूछ रहे हैं कि रेलवे अच्छी है, एयरलाइन अच्छी है। अरे वो तो जरिया है, पर आपको बनना क्या है? दैट इज माय क्वेश्चन। व्हाट डू यू वांट टू बिकम? डोंट आस्क व्हाट इज द रूट टू बिकम समथिंग। आपको पहले तो ये क्लियर होना चाहिए कि मुझे फाइनेंस इंडस्ट्री में, क्या आपको पता है क्रेडिट मैनेजर क्या करता है? क्या आपको पता है फॉरेंसिक अकाउंटिंग क्या करता है? डू यू नो व्हाट अ हेज फंड एनालिस्ट डज? डू यू नो व्हाट अ कॉन्ट्रैक्ट मैनेजर डज? डू यू नो व्हाट अ फाइनेंशियल रिस्क मैनेजर डज? फर्स्ट अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट आर दीज जॉब रोल्स, देन टॉक अबाउट जरिया। ओके, ये रूट, अच्छा मुझे दिल्ली जाना है तो फ्लाइट से जाना पड़ेगा, अच्छा मुझे चंडीगढ़ जाना है तो मे बी मैं मेट्रो से चला जाऊंगा। प्लीज अंडरस्टैंड दिस क्लियरली। And absolutely, you can become an entrepreneur in any of these fields. Absolutely, yes. Absolutely, no problem. Right in front of you, these are the career options. You can become, these are 45 plus career options. Today, you met and you interact with it with somebody who was a wealth manager. आपने एक career job role से मिले थे जिसका नाम था wealth manager. They are also known as portfolio manager. But in the IFAF program, you will meet each and every person. Okay, so in your first year, you are introduced to each and every person. Only then you will see, oh, you know what? I think I want to become a hedge fund analyst because I spoke to so speaker and now I have a clarity कि exactly hedge fund होता क्या है. Our job is to give you a eye-opening information completely backed by research. हम आपको blindly नहीं कह रहे। आज आप मार्केट में जाओ, everybody is saying do CA, do CPT. अरे भाई मैं क्यों करूं? What is the reason? You need to first know, right? कि CA बन के मैं करूंगा क्या? क्या मुझे टैक्स में काम करना है, कंसल्टिंग एडवाइजरी में, ड्यू डिलिजेंस में, फॉरेंसिक अकाउंटिंग में? क्या पता आपको इन रियलिटी एक ट्रेजरर बनना है बड़ी से बड़ी इन्वेस्टमेंट बैंक का, या फिर आपको इक्विटी रिसर्च में जाना है। सीए करके तो यहां नहीं पहुंचोगे, तो आपको ये चीजों की जानकारी होनी चाहिए। दैट इज एग्जैक्टली व्हाट वी आर ट्राइंग टू एक्सप्लेन यू। Ritika, if you are good at math, then believe me, if you do a CFA program, you can become a great business analyst, hedge fund analyst, asset management. तो IFAF में आपको आइडिया आ जाएगी कि मैं बीकॉम के साथ जब IFAF करूंगी और मेरा मैथ स्किल अच्छा है, तो which all field I can consider to deep dive. You can be a great financial modeling expert. Today, when you see in the news where people say 6% return मिलेगा आपको या 5% return मिलेगा, there is a some financial modeling expert वो ये नंबर के साथ आता है, तब जाके एड में आपको बताया जाता है कि ये स्कीम में इतना फायदा मिलेगा. So this is something we need to understand. Insurance actuary, that's also a great field you can consider if you are good at math. So वही आपको आइडेंटिफाई करना है, and this is something all of you will be understanding in the first year of IFAF, ताकि सेकेंड ईयर में आप डिसाइड कर सको कौन से फील्ड में आपको जाना है. I hope now things are becoming clear for you. Idea is to understand इंडस्ट्री में हो क्या रहे हैं, चीजें बहुत फास्ट बदल रही है, it is going to change a lot of your perspective. So very important for each one of you to actually think loud and think in your mind what exactly is your career plan. How do you want to take forward, especially in this new world post COVID? आपको definitely understand करना है your generation is going to be a very different generation. You're going to enter into a completely new India. So are you ready to take up those challenges? Is something very important for each one of you. Great. So thank you very much, students, to be part of this session. I appreciate all of these feedback. I'm happy that 100% of you found this session helpful, and we definitely hope to see you soon in our future sessions. And you can contact us with your parents for a personalized counseling as well, and visit any of our centers to discuss further. Thank you very much. All the very best to each one of you. Thank you very much, everyone.